Hi, my name is Liran Aliav from Aliav Law. Today we're going to talk about the benefits of having an LLC for real property. An LLC is basically another entity that holds your real property. So if you have, John owning a piece of property and Sue owning a piece of property, and they both put in an LLC, so now a third person, the LLC, now owns this piece of property. So what's the point of that? The point of that is, one, for ease of management. All right, there's rules in place for how to manage the property, for instance, or who can make decisions, who could sign on checks, and who is in charge of upkeep, for instance. All right. The second, more important reason to doing an LLC is people want some sort of asset protection. And what does that mean? Well, it's twofold. One is an LLC is usually anonymous in some sort of fashion, whether it's the name itself doesn't have the name of the people who own it, right? Right on a regular title search, you're not going to see that. But as you dig deeper, you might find that out. The second thing is, when you put a property inside of an LLC, imagine you've just put your property in some sort of steel box, and when there is some sort of lawsuits coming in from the outside, it may be shielded from that lawsuit. So they may not be able to get to that asset upon filing and winning certain lawsuits, right? So it really all depends on the laws of the state that you have formed that LLC, because those laws will tell us whether we can use certain remedies in order to gain the access to those assets, right? So for instance, if a remedy is that you could foreclose on the LLC, which here in California you can, that means that someone could take over the LLC entirely and all of its assets. Whereas in other states, you might have no foreclosure remedy, and the only way you could do a remedy of some sort is by something called a charging order, which means that the person sits on the sidelines until the manager of the LLC decides to make a distribution, at which point that distribution can be taken by the creditor. So, that's obviously more favorable than someone who could just take control over the company in itself. So that's the real reason people do LLCs. There are obviously other major reasons to do one too, as it deals with management. But in an asset protection standpoint, that is the main reason.
Okay, if you enjoyed the video, your next step is to sign up for the webinar by clicking the link above. And if you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and comment below. Be happy to address them. See you soon.